This week on List Rate Rank.
We get it. We get it. You're a dinosaur, okay? It's like ranking vanilla as one of your favorite ice cream.
I mean, to be fair, that is also my favorite ice cream.
On List Rate Rank, our hosts research various topics and each bring their own top 5 list to the show. Together they debate, discuss, and deliberate, and with the help of an expert, one definitive and indisputable top 5 list is created.
You've tried other dinosaurs, now try Triceratops.
This is List Rate Rank.
Welcome to List Rate Rank. My name is David Fedor.
And I am Joe Wichryk.
Today, our topic, near and dear to both of our hearts, dinosaurs.
Indeed, sir.
Dinosaurs, if you are unfamiliar, are mythical creatures from the Bible.
The only people unfamiliar with dinosaurs are Mormons.
Let's go ahead and dive in on our lists.
All right.
Earlier in the day, we did a push-up contest to determine who would go first, and Joe won.
Did I win or...
You sucked the least.
I sucked the least.
Yeah. So, Joe, go ahead.
All right. So my top 5 dinosaur is the Plesiosaurus, the gentle giant of the sea. The dinosaur that probably is the Loch Ness Monster.
All right, hold on. Slow down. You said a lot of things that need clarification and definition there. Plesiosaurus. Okay, so this is a water-based dinosaur?
A water-based dinosaur. It's essentially a diplodocus with fins instead of feet.
So think of the Loch Ness
You
Monster.
have done no research
not
for
in
this
not
episode
in
of dinosaurs.
Not of aquatic-based dinosaurs.
Aquatic-based dinosaurs are the in right now. Like, I could actually show you dresses with a Plesiosaurus on it.
Shut up.
I'm not even kidding you. Google it.
All right.
Plesiosaurus dinosaurs dresses. Plesiosaurus. And then just put fashion dress after that, or dress.
Wow, you're right.
There you go.
A Plesiosaurus dress. And it literally says crazy Plesiosaurus on it. And there's another one with a nice pattern. A Plesiosaurus
Do we want to?
We'll include this on our Twitter page.
On the Twitter page. Okay, very good. Well, all right, Dave.
All right.
One of my top 5 already has a dress. So what do you got?
That's pretty impressive. My number 5 is the Corythosaurus.
Corythosaurus?
Corythosaurus.
Corythosaurus.
Yeah, so the Corythosaurus has a mohawk. Its name literally means helmet lizard, which is freaking awesome. And most importantly, why it's near and dear to my heart is Denver the Last Dinosaur, the great cartoon from the 1980s, where a band of children stumble upon a dinosaur egg after they're running away from bullies, and this egg happens to hatch at that moment. They befriend the dinosaur, who understands English, who could skateboard, wear sunglasses, and has a cool mohawk, and goes on adventures. There were 50 episodes, 2 seasons of this cartoon, and a very catchy theme song. And that's why the Corythosaurus is my number 5 pick.
Do you have the lyrics to that theme song?
Better yet, I could pull it up right here.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a listen to the... What was the show?
It's called Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Denver the Last Dinosaur.
And
Denver the Last Dinosaur sounds like Peyton Manning. Wait, he played for Denver, right? Yeah. You're going to have to volumize that. Oh, that is a real thing. All right, guys, if you've never seen this show, it's the most 80s you can get. All right, we're done with this. This is just so ridiculously stupid.
And a whole lot more. So go home, Google this for sure if you're watching right now. This dinosaur, for some reason in the cartoon, this dinosaur is very cartoony, wears glasses, skateboards, like I said, but then they also time travel, interact to the,
Previous
the
dinosaurs,
prehistoric era, and all the other dinosaurs are very realistic looking. They are not cartoon. Like, look at that. They're fighting.
Yeah, that's a baller dinosaur right there.
But Denver is.
I mean, that one looks like it
pretty
could
sweet.
be in a pinball machine or something.
Yeah. So Denver the Last Dinosaur is my source material, and my reason that the Corythosaurus is my number 5.
All right, well, Dave, that's a very strong argument. But I'm going to come at you here, bro. I'm going to come at you here hard with my number 4 pick.
All right, do it.
Diplodocus, the gentle giant of the land.
So
it's what the dinosaur of the sea would be if it was not in the sea.
So the Diplodocus is the name because of like a diplomat? Is this a diplomatic?
Oh, well,
dinosaur?
I mean, I guess you could say so because he is an herbivore and he does herbivoric things such as not eat other dinosaurs.
Which is an important thing.
It really is an important thing.
Gentle giant, the diplomat of the land.
Indeed.
Very good pick. My number 4,
Yeah, go ahead.
the Megalosaurus.
Oh.
Now, all of my dinosaurs, my favorite dinosaurs, are, of course, rooted in pop culture, things that I grew up watching on television, in films.
And so where does this one fit in?
The Megalosaurus, you might know better as Earl Sinclair or Baby Sinclair from the television show Dinosaurs. I'm the baby, gotta love me. I love him so much, he's number 4 on my list.
But he's not the mama. Indeed.
Are you telling me that your number 3 is...
My number 3 is the Stegosaurus. And I wrote that. You can see here, viewers, it says Stegosaurus because it's a Stegosaurus. You got a giant, meaty, like 4 times a cow-sized beast rolling at you with giant spades on its back, pissed off, spiky tail. How is that up there on your dinosaur list? That's all I'm saying right there about the Stegosaurus.
Okay, all right. Number 3 on my list,
What do you got?
the Tyrannosaurus. The T-Rex.
Only 3.
T-Rex is number 3. And here, let me tell you why.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
He is iconic.
Indeed,
He
he
is,
represents all dinosaurs,
He is, when you think dinosaur, you think...
or she,
Or she.
or she.
Sure. Nobody really knows. I don't think they have fossils of that. But...
Wait, of that?
Well, I'm pretty sure that...
Like balls and dicks and stuff?
Right.
You've never seen a dinosaur vagina before?
I don't think anybody's dug and took a little brush and swept away sand on a dinosaur vagina.
What do you think that would look like? Like a Georgia O'Keeffe painting or something?
I'm sure they're
Or what
varied. They're probably varied.
What about a dinosaur wang, man?
I
How
wa-
big would that have to be?
I'm sure. Well,
Or are we talking like
bus
a
length?
lipstick kind of thing with a dog?
I'm sure it's varied. I'm just like the animal kingdom currently in existence now.
Well, what animal has the biggest hog?
That's a completely different podcast. We could
All
talk
right,
about
well,
the
we can
top 10 animal hogs. We'll add that on our list. To stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. So the T-Rex, iconic. He's strong. He's a hunter. He's what you think of when you think of dinosaurs. The reason it bumped down a couple on my list, not to mention the arms, but Barney. I think Barney hurt him. The T-Rex.
Oh, was Barney a T-Rex?
Barney was a T-Rex? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So-
why he couldn't hug people.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't hug people. That
Well,
was a creepy-ass show.
correct. Go ahead with your number 2, sir.
All right. So I got my number 2 right here. The largest of all dinosaurs, the Titanosaurus.
Ooh.
65 feet tall, 130 feet long. That is like the size of a building with a building next to it.
Wow.
Like, sheets aren't even that big. So imagine a dinosaur the size of a sheets. But yeah, the Titanosaurus, it's essentially a Diplodocus in stature and development.
Mhm.
But it's just a really freaking huge thing.
Okay.
Like 65 feet tall. That's bigger than the building we're in right now.
All right. So my number 2 is probably a dinosaur I should have picked as number 3 because of the name.
I swear to God, if you say Stegosaurus, I'm going to punch you in the face.
No, it is the Triceratops. So the Triceratops, literally named the 3-horned face, is what Triceratops means.
Yes, that's the translation from Latin and
Greek,
bullshit,
actually.
Bullshit.
So it is a lot like a rhinoceros, as they exist today.
Which only has the one horn.
Right.
So it's evolution. It's a clear statement of Darwin's evolution theory.
Is it? Because I don't know if they're
Is it? Because
related?
now I don't even feel like it's a dinosaur.
Well,
now I
'cause
feel like it's like
a mammal.
a hippo.
Well, dinosaurs are mostly reptilian, right?
Or birds.
They
are birds?
I almost put birds on my list.
I was going to put bald eagle on my list just to see what happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
But the Triceratops, much like the Stegosaurus, as you say, has just that look that you don't want to mess with it.
It does.
But
it's
here's the twist. The Triceratops is not aggressive. Its horns were not for fighting. They were more for display and more for kind of like rams now do the head button thing, and they like.
So you're saying it was like 3 giant dicks on his head?
Right. Yeah. It's totally just flaunting and hey, look at this. Hey,
Gotcha.
hey. But then something comes at you, you're gonna run away. A T-Rex would totally destroy a Triceratops.
Do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, that might have to be a list because who would win in a fight?
That could be.
Yeah, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or Rocky Balboa. Rocky's got the reach.
Yeah, but T-Rex got the giant mouthful of sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was my number 2. Go ahead with your number 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 for Joe is the T-Rex. Both the dinosaur and the band. Get it on, bang a gong.
Wait,
done.
T-Rex? That's
T-Rex. The band's called T-Rex.
The band is called T-Rex?
The band's called T-Rex. Google it. Google it right now. We're going to Google. Google. Thanks, Google, for all the Google things you do.
Bang a Gong, Get It On by T-Rex.
T-Rex. That's right. Here is a little sample. It's got a freaking smooth bass line right there. There it is. There it is.
Had to skip ahead.
I think you got you got a band named T-Rex, you got a dinosaur named T-Rex, you got a big bad motherfucking killing machine named T-Rex.
For my number 1.
Yeah, go ahead. I forgot we weren't done because I thought I just kicked your ass with T-Rex and the band.
Oh, I mean,
go ahead. I'll
I
give you a turn.
I did have T-Rex as my number 3.
I'll give you a turn. Go ahead.
So, my number 1, I went in a completely different direction because the hunter, the predator, the aggressive, the strong T-Rex is one type of dinosaur. I chose as my favorite, as my number 1, the Brontosaurus. So ever since I was a little kid, the Brontosaurus was definitely my favorite dinosaur. He just was more chill than all the other dinosaurs. You could hang out with him. He would kind of like eat stuff at the top of the trees and stuff.
Like a giraffe dinosaur.
Kind of like a giraffe dinosaur. Yeah. You could think of all the things you could do with the neck. You could slide down it. You could climb up it.
That's a creepy ass statement right there.
That's why I kind of
think of all the things you could do with the neck.
I kind of started listening to them because I knew how that sounded as soon as I said it. It's just, again, a ginormous creature, peaceful herbivore.
Yeah.
Didn't really hunt, and just I would like to chill out and hang out and drink with the Brontosaurus. Now
that would be cool. I would definitely that's another list. Top 5 dinosaurs to have a beer with, because it's definitely not going to be T-Rex. You know he's going to get your ass kicked.
Sure, and he'll be pissed the whole time because he can't drink a beer because he can't get
his arms up to his face.
He'd just sit there throwing beer up at his mouth for.
Or he's like in one of those giant ice luge things for Jägermeister.
All right, so That was some very solid top
I
5
think
lists
so.
from each of
I
us.
think so. But Dave, I have a caveat.
Yeah.
I have a caveat. And my caveat is Dinosaurs, the TV show,
Okay.
as a clear representative of Dinosaurs, the list. And that would be my number 6 caveat.
Wait, you're saying that
I'm classifying an entire TV show that was made by, I think, Fox in
Disney?
the early 1990s.
ABC?
NBC.
ABC.
ABC.
Mm-hmm.
But I am designated that as the fallback if no one can pick a clear winner of the Dinosaurs. I would like Dinosaurs, the TV show, to be selected as the clear winner. And also, as a second caveat, and I have this written here with a star next to it, that velociraptors were not discussed at all in this list, but velociraptors are dicks.
See, I also have a few items of note as well from my research.
I think this is a good thing that we should feel this out.
Yeah, definitely items of note. Velociraptor I definitely considered, but in my research discovered that everything that I knew about velociraptors was pretty much
From
incorrect.
Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park, and completely wrong. That's not what they looked like. That's not how they acted.
Yeah, they were birds.
They were birds. They
They were
had
birds.
feathers. They had total different dispensations and shit. They were totally different than how they were portrayed.
You really have to stop looking at me directly in the eye when you're talking.
You don't
about
like that,
dinosaurs.
huh?
No, it's very creepy.
Yeah, so the Velociraptor definitely fell. He was number 7 on my list. He was on my fallback
look,
list.
Look, number 7 on my list.
Nice!
Oh!
Hey, all right.
7s.
I also had as a honorable mention
Mm-hmm.
the pterodactyl.
The dinosaurs of the sky.
So the pterodactyl would have definitely made my top 5, except it is not technically a dinosaur.
No, it's not. It's some kind of winged, creepy thing.
Winged
like a
reptile.
Bat, like a bat.
Yeah.
Is it a bat? Is it
I think
bat?
it's
Is it
considered
bat
a
country?
reptile.
I'm going to say bat like 6 more times.
And
Bat.
yeah. Stegosaurus was my number 6. He almost
Yeah.
broke the top. I definitely dug the spiny, spiked back and tail.
Yeah, it's just like a kick-ass way to like go through the day.
Mm-hmm.
It almost reminds me of like the Clash, like
Yeah,
that
the punk.
British punk
Yeah.
kind of feel. That's what a Stegosaurus is. to
Stegosaurus
me.
would
Yeah.
totally rock a leather jacket with like whiteout stuff written on with whiteout on it.
Yeah, sure, but that's not really how they did that. But okay.
That's how they did it.
No,
Like
that's
when
not
I was
really
in
how
middle
they-
school,
really?
and
That's how they
like
did
kids
when you
would
were in middle-
wear.
They were wrong.
Yeah.
You cut that stuff in there, or burnt it in there,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally just whiteout.
or spray painted. Like, yeah. All right.
Gigantosaurus and which is just a larger T-Rex, a little bit longer arms. Gigantosaurus.
Right. Arms long enough to hold a beer.
Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, that's a good one.
To me, it looked like a Pokemon and was pretty cool. But those were some of my. It
I
had
think
cool
most
armor.
Pokemon are dinosaurs.
Yeah, it had cool armor. It had like a wrecking ball on the tail.
Oh, I know exactly which one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that guy. The Allosaurus, which is a little larger than the T-Rex, I believe, right?
I'm not sure I came across that one. Brachiosaurus, which is
Brachiosaurus,
a
yeah.
poor man's version of the Brontosaurus, in my opinion.
And a poor man's version of the Diplodocus.
Diplodocus, yeah, sounds awful lot like the same class of dinosaurs.
Indeed.
Well, now here's the thing.
What do you think dinosaur meat tastes like?
Oh, I bet you it's probably pretty tough. Probably,
You think?
yeah, it's probably like really.
You don't think they're like billion-year-old cows?
No, I don't think they're cow-like at all.
All right.
Well, like think of eating like a lizard.
Or a chicken.
Well, I guess if they're birds,
Yeah, like chicken lizards.
like chicken lizards,
Yeah.
it really, I don't know.
That's a restaurant of a different horse.
Yeah.
No big deal.
All right, so for those of you listeners at home who know how this is going, our number 1 choices, and that's why I put the Brontosaurus as my number 1 because I wanted to make sure he was going in the next
Oh,
round.
you're trying to dick me over.
No, I was trying to dick you over. I just wanted to make
Okay.
sure.
All right.
I wanted to make sure that the Brontosaurus made it in the next round. So Brontosaurus is in our top 5, and the T-Rex, your number 1, is in our top 5.
Right, both the band and the dinosaur, though. Let's be clear on that.
So the T-Rex was also on my list, so it also would have had an automatic entrance into our top 5
Right.
because it was on both our lists. You would have gotten that by default because he was ranked higher on your list than mine, but it doesn't matter. So that means we have 3 spots to fill from our remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have to fight it out here to see what our next three are going to be. So we have the Triceratops, the Megalosaurus, the Corythosaurus, the Titanosaurus, Stegosaurus, Stegosaurus,
Yes.
Diplodocus.
He's the guy
And
that like walks
Plesiosaurus.
into the room and like wings his tail around and spills your iced tea.
Oh, so he's
Like,
like a
it's
little bit of an
A
awkward.
little bit of an awkward dinosaur.
Yeah.
And then we've also got the Plesiosaurus, which is the Diplodocus of the sea, and possibly the Loch Ness monster. So, boom. I'm saying Plesiosaurus makes it on merit of still being alive, maybe.
Well, not only that, but it's also the only of our top fives that was an aquatic-based dinosaur.
Indeed. That
So,
was a good
in the
point.
fairness of being representative of
Aquatic dinosaurs?
all dinosaurs,
Except we totally like shit on the pterodactyl.
the winged, yeah. Well, he wasn't a real dinosaur.
Yeah, that's fair.
We could have picked the pterodactyl
Like a
dinosaur
giant bat.
version.
Like a
yeah,
giant
but
bat.
yeah, fuck winged dinosaurs.
We can't stop here. This is
yeah.
bad country.
So Plesiosaurus, I'll concede of your choice of the Plesiosaurus, and we'll add him to our final.
Fantastic.
Which means that I will then vote against the Diplodocus because he's just a
the
land-based version,
Diplodocus.
and he's awful lot like the Brontosaurus.
He is a lot like the Brontosaurus, but Diplodocus is more fun to say. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Diplodocus. Okay, good. So agreed.
No, I
Diplodocus
agree.
goes
He's
on
more fun to say.
He's more fun to say.
But he's also too much like the Brontosaurus and the Plesiosaurus that is already in our group 5.
All right, fine. Since you conceded to the Plesiosaurus, which is one of my favorite aquatic-based dinosaurs, I will concede to your Diplodocus being on the list.
No, that's not out. That's not. I'm going to make a case for the Triceratops. And
I will fight you for the Stegosaurus. And of course, we're ignoring completely the Titanosaurus, the largest dinosaur that ever lived.
Well, it's the
65 feet tall.
Titanosaurus. Is he bigger than a Giganosaurus?
Yes.
All right. Fact check.
You know what? Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a fact-checking moment with Dave. Here comes the news feed from New York City. We're going to look at Google and see if the dinosaur is larger or not larger. But I believe the Titanosaurus is the largest dinosaur that ever lived.
According to Google, the largest specimen on record, the Titanosaur Argentinosaurus hunicularis. So Titanosaur.
Dinosaur. Done. Made the list just for being the biggest guy on the block.
Well, hold on. Just because it's big doesn't mean it deserves to be. And according to this,
She has
these
never
pictures-
said that.
According to the pictures too, it looks like a Brontosaurus.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's the biggest Brontosaurus. It's the Titanosaurus.
So if we're going to a dinosaur expert with our list, we can't
Who
embarrass
are we gonna
ourselves.
call? Who are we calling?
We can't embarrass ourselves by taking a list of 5 and having 3 of them be varying sizes of brontosauruses.
Well, one's underwater.
One's a swimming brontosaurus, one's a regular brontosaurus, and one's a big brontosaurus. We can't take that list to a dinosaur expert. We'll look like idiots.
Okay, well then, what do you suggest?
Stegosaurus
All right. I'll
and a
concede-
Triceratops.
Wait, we don't have enough. We have T-Rex,
T-Rex, Brontosaurus, Plesiosaurus,
Plesiosaurus, I think. I don't know.
Stegosaurus,
We'll ask the
and
expert.
Triceratops.
That's 5.
That's 5. Titanosaurus doesn't make the list.
Caveat.
No caveats.
Caveat for Titanosaurus, just to see what he says.
No, we have a brontosaurus and a swimming brontosaurus.
And
We don't need a bigger brontosaurus.
But it's not just the bigger Brontosaurus. It's the biggest dinosaur that ever lived.
Biggest doesn't mean best. It's how you use.
That's not what she said.
It's how you use it.
I will concede to the list of the 5 that you have stated.
All right, so we'll go Triceratops and Stegosaurus, rounding out the official top 5, and we'll throw in the Titanosaurus as a wild card
Wild card.
to our expert. All
I
right,
dig it.
I'll go.
All right, very good.
Shook.
If you guys can't see this, because you can't, we shook hands, and I'm holding on just a little too long.
Yeah, you got all my fingers and no thumb, which was a really weird handshake. All right.
So we're going to call, who are we calling, Dave?
Well, after the break, we're going to be joined by our dinosaur expert, Mr. John Feightner, and we will narrow down but we will rank our top 5 out of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Brontosaurus, the Plesiosaurus, the Triceratops, and the Stegosaurus. So stay tuned after the break.
Hello, my name is Brian, and I help run Disc Golf Examiner. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's disc golf?
Golf! Frisbee golf, Jerry! Golf with a frisbee!
It's a growing sport that is played like golf, but with a disc or frisbee, and your target is a basket made of chains that catches discs.
Get it! Oh!
We want you to join us during this exciting expansion of our sport. If you're interested, check out Disc Golf Examiner on Facebook and YouTube, or visit us on our website at discgolfexaminer.com. And as always, keep banging those chains.
Yeah! Woo!
All right, welcome back from the break. We are now going to be joined by our guest. Mr. John Feightner is an actor, improviser, and museum enthusiast. He can be seen regularly at the Arcade Comedy Theater in such monthly shows as Enter Warp Zone with House Team Warp Zone, The Playlist, and Nights of the Arcade, a D&D comedy adventure. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, John.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
It has been forever since I personally have seen you.
Yes, with your human eyes.
As some of you may know, John, Joe, and myself are members of the comedy troupe Hustlebot, one of Pittsburgh's oldest improv teams. But we haven't really done anything in 2 years and hardly ever see each other anymore.
But our legacy lives on.
Does it, John? You're down there more than I am. Does our legacy live on?
It's there's echoes. There are legends of us still being the thing that was funny at one point. No, we are still well respected amongst the community.
Good.
I should change all that.
I mean, the community could just be telling me lies, but it seems so far that people remember us fondly.
Well, we didn't bring you on here to talk about Hustlebot. What we did was bring you on here to settle disputes, to rank some dinosaurs.
Sweet.
Dino Rank 2018.
So, John, some people may know about you. You're pretty heavily into dinosaurs, right? Sure.
I would say so. I remember from a very young age wanting to be a paleontologist when I grew up.
You're going to say wanting to be a dinosaur.
I'm sure there was a point when I was very small that I pretended to be a prehistoric monster and perhaps attacked my sister. But no, I do remember when I was even in elementary school being like, dinosaurs are the best. And not the way that all kids are into dinosaurs think they're the best, but in my own special way. And while that exact thing never happened, I do now work for a museum.
That's right.
So I am fairly well acquainted with dinosaurs. I've seen many of their bones, and I've read much of the research. Even though I do not work specifically in the dinosaur section of said museum, I still am quite the authority on what is at least the top 5 dinosaurs.
I think we have enough backpedaling there. From you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that for our intents and purposes and what we need from you today, you are an authority.
I'm lower ranked on the authority scale, I guess.
Well, let's just say
call me a sergeant of dinosaur knowledge.
Yeah, we're still early off in our podcasting. That you're the biggest get that we can get at this point.
Does that make you feel good?
I feel so gettable.
Yeah. At some point, we're gonna redo this episode with an actual paleontologist or something, maybe.
All right.
So in your day-to-day life, tell me about the dinosaurs that you see.
I regularly see T-Rexes, see Triceratopses. I see the chicken from hell.
What? Tell me about this chicken from hell.
It's called the Anzu. It basically looks like a giant demon chicken.
And now you can get it at Chick-fil-A, but not on Sundays.
Diplodocus. I see all sorts of dinosaurs. I might see what one might call the 3rd largest collection of dinosaurs.
Possibly, maybe. We don't want to call it out or name it.
But you can Google it.
Tell me more about this chicken from hell. Is that kind of like a velociraptor type thing?
It's bigger than that.
It's bigger than a velociraptor.
Oh, sure. They actually are like pretty small. Like if you look at like Jurassic Park, they blew them up a little bit to make them more threatening. The actual velociraptor is like probably closer to a chicken.
Oh, okay. Wow. See, that's great. We did talk at the beginning how the velociraptor did not make either of our lists.
Yeah.
Because of the lies that Jurassic Park told us.
And we figured they were dicks.
They probably are at the very least big old dicks.
But this chicken from hell is larger than that?
Oh, yeah, much larger. It's larger than you, sir.
Oh, my God.
That
does sound
7
scary.
feet tall. But yeah, even its bones, it looks very bird-like and has like a frilled head. So it's got like a horn type situation, but it's got the kind of what's the top of the thing with a rooster?
Ruffles?
Ruffle? I don't know if it's called ruffle. It's got like a headpiece that makes it definitely look like a demon chicken. That's what I'm saying.
That's pretty sweet. And this brings up something that we were talking about in the first half of the show with chickens and dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Poses our first question to you as our expert.
Please.
What do you think dinosaurs taste like?
Ooh, they are they are related to birds.
Mm-hmm.
The birds we see today, many years ago, were dinosaurs. So I'm gonna have to assume very chicken-like. Although that even the chicken we know today has been bred to be super juicy. So maybe they're closer to like duck. I'm making that up. So I'm gonna say closer to duck than chicken.
Nice.
And there's no way to prove him wrong.
No, it's not. That's one of the things that and because they're kind of reptilian as well, so it's like maybe a cross between a bird and a reptile. I've never eaten like a lizard or anything. Alligator.
A chicken gator.
Maybe.
We should serve that at Popeyes.
I almost had an alligator hamburger once.
Yeah.
But instead had camel.
What?
Yes.
Tell me about this camel
was it
eating
a
experience.
single patty or a double patty camel burger?
It's like a hump
That would
steak.
be a dromedary burger, I guess. Was it single patty? I was in San Francisco. They have a place called Crazy Burger. And they have all sorts of the craziest meats I can get. They have. I think they had zebra. I wanted to go for the kangaroo burger, but they didn't have it. It was a special.
They have to
do
zebra on a flame grill so it gets the grill marks, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Boo.
Ah.
What did it taste like? What does
It's much leaner than a regular burger, so it doesn't taste as fatty. And that's the most I could say. Like it does taste different. It's hard to fully describe it, but yeah, it tastes like a much leaner burger.
That's like a turkey burger.
Was there like sand all through it?
That's racist.
It's camelist.
But it was filled with water in just one section.
The craziest burger I ever had was Sharp Edge over there in East Liberty. I had an ostrich burger, and it was the gamiest, worst burger I ever had. But I loved it because I hate ostriches.
Again, right up there with velociraptors being dicks.
Yeah.
So are ostriches.
Oh my God. I bet you velociraptors are definitely like ostriches.
I wonder if they're related.
I was almost attacked like
By a
twice
velociraptor?
by an ostrich.
Huh.
No, velociraptors have always been very cool to me. Yeah. But no, that's awesome. Camels. Wow. Is that the strangest thing you ate?
Probably.
I mean, off
I'm
topic.
not seeing it on any other list menu anywhere. So.
Well, see, here's the thing that blows my mind, because the John Feightner I knew from 2 years ago is very picky with what he eats.
It's true. I've changed ever so little bit here and there. So I eat Mexican now.
What?
Crazy. I regularly go to an Indian restaurant and order one thing over and over and over again.
Is it rice? Because they'll just keep serving you the rice.
I love naan. Naan's delicious. So yeah, it had what was it? Like a curry on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had like a curried lamb at least once.
Nice.
So
Oh, yeah, I forgot you could eat those too.
I was like, well, I wanted to try something strange, so went for the camel. Wanted the kangaroo, and went for camel.
You can only get the kangaroo burger to go, and you have to put it in your pocket on the way out.
Keeps it warm.
Awesome. Well, let's get to our list, what we came for. We're going to give you our combined top 5 in no particular order. Some of them will be from Joe's list. Some of them will be from mine. After you list them, we'll get points awarded, and one of us will be declared a winner. So that's exciting. So the first one that we have, one that you should expect to be on any dinosaur list, the T-Rex, the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
T-Rex.
Which also is the band as well. T-Rex the band.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bang it gong, John.
All right, the next one on the list.
The Brontosaurus, John. The Brontosaurus.
The third one on our list, the Plesiosaurus.
Which is like the Brontosaurus of the sea. I
Well,
would say.
we'll let our expert give us information. Maybe we'll throw him a curveball and out-expert him. The fourth one on our list
is the I read that wrong. It's the Triceratops.
Triceratops.
And then number 5 on our list, this is the one with the fucking
Yes, it's the Stegosaurus.
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 Yeah. That's a specific kind of Stegosaurus, I believe.
It's the most badass one.
It's the most badass. So that is our top 5 list. No. It's not worthy of a top 5. It has to be the Stegosaurus.
Certainly.
All right, so give us your first initial impressions of our top 5 list overall before we start throwing.
Well, I'll say right off the bat that if I could grade the T-Rex off the list, I would do that.
Oh wow,
that's how I feel about the T-Rex.
Any particular reason?
It's overblown. It's used too much. It's just your plain Jane. Here I am, a monstrous dinosaur. Blah. We get it. You're a dinosaur, okay? It certainly is a large, monstrous creature. It has very impressive jaws. It's not the largest theropod you're going to find, but all right, fine. You're a dinosaur. I get it. But it's like ranking vanilla as one of your favorite ice creams.
To be fair, that is also my favorite ice cream. Sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on that.
But if you're going to rank all the ice creams in the world and you're putting vanilla in your top 5, have you tried ice creams before?
All right, so we're going to come back because I'm going to have you back on as our ice cream expert.
I worked in an ice cream store.
You do have ice cream experience. So
you do have that experience.
So yeah, we're definitely going to do that. But part of what made it on our list, I think, is how pervasive it is. What extent of pop culture it has gained. It is the Jurassic Park logo.
Quintessential.
It's the quintessential for a reason. Whether or not it's deserved, it's there.
Sure, but I think it goes back to what I say about being just the plainest dinosaur you can pull off the rack. The white T-shirt of the dinosaurs. Just like
I completely.
It's overplayed because it is so simple. It's large, big teeth, and it got played over and over and over again. Tons of things that had interesting stuff about them. I mean, we could have picked any dinosaur to be the dinosaur. We just picked that one because it had big, giant teeth.
Go ahead on to our next one.
Brontosaurus.
Or hold on, are you ready? Are you ready just to list these?
No, I'm looking at my ranking right now. I could be close to it.
Because T-Rex, is that going to be your number 5? Clearly,
it has to be my number 5. I mean, I almost want to be like I'm only doing a top 4 here because I put the damn T-Rex on here. I'm glad you took the Velociraptor out of there because he is a dick and also overblown and all the stuff that people think is cool about it is all just lies from the Jurassic Park movies. So screw them.
All right, give us your number 4 then.
Number 4, let me say. The number 4 is gonna be the Brontosaurus. Again, he seems a little plain Jane, but he's a guy who stuck it through because there was a time where they didn't think he existed at all.
Like
I recall that. Yeah.
But he's come back with a vengeance. He's the solid, long-necked dinosaur.
And that's like as much vengeance as an herbivore can really have, right?
He's sauntered back with a vengeance.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's more, they didn't know he was just behind those trees there, still eating, just hanging out. He's like, I was never not a dinosaur. I was always a dinosaur, and you just didn't want to recognize it.
Sort of like Pluto.
Oh, the planet. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pluto and Brontosaurus. Dinosaurs in space will come back later on in the story. Don't you worry about it.
We're breeding them on the dark side of the moon.
If I'm going to go number 3, it's going to be the Plesiosaurus. The Plesiosaur.
Nice.
Interesting. So there was quite a heated argument between us because the Plesiosaurus or Plesiosaurus, as you say, I'll defer to your pronunciation, And the Brontosaurus are very similar.
Hmm.
Plesiosaurus is like just a swimming version. Instead of legs, he's got fins or flippers.
And also may still exist in the Loch Ness.
Joe's correct. Gets major points for possibly at least got itself so deeply in legend that it has convinced many people that he's still around. So it's a pretty solid.
That's high quality logic, is what we call it.
That's pretty badass to be, the dinosaur that people are still talking about, hoping to find, living in the world today. And it's, he's very Brontosaurus-like, but yeah, he has the fins. So he's an underwater dinosaur. He's got that head that comes right out of the water. That's like a periscope. He's like a submarine of the dinosaurs. So hell yeah, I'm all for the plesiosaur.
See, the Nazis are making them in the U-boats on the dark side of the moon.
Now that's a movie I'll see.
So then my number 2 is going to be Stegosaurus or Stegofuckingsaurus. Yeah, I think at one time probably was my favorite dinosaur. I guess it fluctuated much as my taste in food has refined. I guess my taste in dinosaurs is refined. That's nothing against the Stegosaurus. I got those armored plates.
Has grown more sophisticated for dinosaurs.
He's got those super armored plates. He's got the spiky tail. How can you not love a dinosaur with that much fringe? So I'm all for the Stegosaurus, but I could go. If I'm going to rank one as my number 1 from your list, it's going to be the Triceratops. It's a solid ass dinosaur. There's few like it, with the 3 horns, stabbing horns right in the middle of the face. He's got the lovely frill, which was many scientists believe used to attract mates. So it was probably very colorful.
You've tried other dinosaurs, now Triceratops.
Yeah, I love a Triceratops. Fantastic dinosaur. So if I'm ranking your list, John, he is number 1.
Was the frill on the outside of the Triceratops, was that not like a armor plate kind of thing, or it was more for a decorative type of thing?
It was armor plated, but some scientists more think that it was probably the skin there was maybe a little more thin, so like some blood vessels could be seen through, so they could add some blush if they wanted to be like, hey, female dinosaur, how about you come over here and let me mount you?
And what kind of things are they basing these off of? Because I'm assuming it's some sort of guessing game.
You compare it with, you look at animals that we have today that have very similar structures, and then you ask, okay, if this idea of this bone has always worked this way throughout time, you look at it, you're like, okay, if this kind of frill is on a bird of today, and it was very colorful and used to attract mates, possibly the Triceratops did the same thing.
Well, I guess that's a good segue into one of the other things we were debating, is dinosaur mating. And they actually quite specifically the size of their genitalia.
Yeah, not necessarily the mating rituals or anything, just what their junk look like.
Well, they would have to be pretty damn long. I mean, imagine how a horse has to get on top of another horse, but it's still got the back legs, the front legs go on top, and then the genitals need to reach the female. It's that mounting is that they're very large animals, so they have very long bodies, so the penis is going to be pretty damn big.
Correct us if we're wrong. There's no dick fossils or dinosaur vagina fossils.
I am sadly not an expert in dinosaur genitalia, but I do know I believe they have found some bones in that area.
Some bones,
but some like floating. So it's like they probably had like an extra bone to help keep their bone up because it was.
Wait,
just so
what?
Big.
Their boner was actually a bone.
There was not the full boner was a bone, but there's like a support.
No kidding.
Bone.
Like a support structure, like a halfway house.
Which dinosaur was this?
Again, I wish I had more concrete evidence on that.
Oh, damn it.
But I'm pretty sure I did at least one point Google dinosaur genitals and learn some information about this.
What else comes up when you Google dinosaur genitals?
Many fantastic and wonderful things.
Now
can those dinosaurs, can they interbreed with each other? Like you get a Stegosaurus that's like banging a Triceratops?
Well, Triceratops, Stegosaurus lived millions of years apart, so they never met one another in order to have sex with one another. They're like whole different epochs.
That's sad.
I don't believe.
I don't like that.
I think they would be friends. And
I'm not saying they wouldn't be friends. I bet I would.
That'd be hard to get up on top of a Stegosaurus though, because they got those plates.
Well, maybe they did it in different ways, John. Would they maybe be, missionary style?
I suppose they could have spooned.
I don't know why all of this is turning into dinosaurs doing it, but I'm all right with it.
Because I think there's so much conjecture that we can offer into how it actually happened, I think.
I think they would have had sex carefully, is as much as we can say.
I just find it interesting that our number ones ended up being your bottom two.
Well, perhaps I know more dinosaurs than you do.
I know. That's
I mean, what you brought me on to school. I'm schooling you right now. You may have put these a little too high in your dinosaur list, and you didn't dig deep enough into like the cool shit that's going on in the dinosaur world.
The T-Rex was like the power bottom.
Still with the sex. All right. That brings us to why we had you make your list. Tell us what should have been our top fives. Go ahead, start with your number 5, please.
Did I rank these? I think I did.
And if you want to present them in no particular order, you can do that as well.
I'll do them in relative order. This is probably close to the order.
Relative to what?
To the order that they should be in. So I'll go lowest, I'll go to highest.
Okay.
So we'll start with, Triceratops is probably on my bottom. It's on 5. That's not saying any hate toward it. There are many dinosaurs in the world, so being in the top 5 is a crown to wear, much like the crown the Triceratops wears.
Hey, I see what you did.
Hey, ho, bada bing, bada boom. It's what an awesome profile it has. 2 major horns in the middle of its forehead and the horn right on its nose. The dangerous monster of a creature that just ate plants. Just little plants, but he needed those horns because he did live at the time of the T-Rex, so he needed to keep that bastard far away from him.
We were talking about that. The T-Rex would destroy a Triceratops, right?
No, he's got to come in from behind, and even then, the Triceratops can be able to move a little bit. But yeah, if he comes right at him, that Triceratops is just going to charge right into his head, or right into his belly, rip that thing right open.
Probably relatively the same size, or size enough to be a fair fight.
I'd say a relatively fair fight. Probably weight-wise, pretty close. I wish I could quote you exact weights there, but
we talking
it's
like
not
cow?
like the T-Rex could just kick over a Triceratops. What's that?
See, that's what I imagined.
We're talking like a cow size for a Triceratops?
Bull? Way bigger than a cow. Way bigger.
Yeah.
You're talking like 3 cows.
So 3 cows big. So this is
3 cows big.
Triceratops.
Measurement.
Oh, yeah.
If it was a Smurf.
It'd be 17,000 Smurfs. Whoa, that's huge!
That's so many apples.
How about your number 4?
My number 4, we're going to go with the Ankylosaur.
Ankylosaur?
You'll probably recognize as an armored dinosaur, much like an armadillo.
Oh, okay,
Doesn't have a shell, but if you looked at it real quick, you'd be like, does that dinosaur have a big turtle shell on it? It is the armored tank dinosaur, much like the Stegosaurus. It's got a weapon at the base of its tail, and it doesn't go for just the regular spikes. It's just a goddamn hammer. It's a giant club at the end of its tail that it uses to beat the hell out of other dinosaurs, including, once again, that T-Rex. So I have 2 dinosaurs in here that I want to rank high just because they beat the hell out of a T-Rex.
How many cows big is this one?
They might be 2.5 cows.
Okay.
They can go 3. They can go larger.
But they got that ball on the end of their tail, so.
Oh yeah, so like 1 up on a cow.
Now, what was that ball made out of? Is it like cartilage, or is that bone, or?
That's straight up bone, baby.
Meaty deliciousness.
Damn, that's good. I'd have to tenderize some of that meat.
You could, if we killed an Ankylosaurus, we could use its own club to tenderize them.
Indeed, you could, Joe. You could curse its ghost by slamming its own head to death with its own tail, if that's what you wish to do. And I know those are certain ideas that pop in your head from time to time.
Do you think any like Ankylosaur ever like tripped and fell and then like knocked his own head and like died?
Dude, like a scorpion stinging it.
Yeah, like damn, this is embarrassing. I hope they don't find my fossil.
The scientist in me says no. The comedian in me says has to have happened at least once. Just
like
had to slip in the rain and then conk itself out, and then a bunch of the Ankylosaurs standing around are being like,
it's like Dick Van Dyke of dinosaurs.
Who put this ottoman here?
Little pterodactyls spinning around his head. So that's my number 4.
Okay.
Number 3 is the I'm gonna get this wrong. I keep calling it the parasaur. Parasaurolophus. You would probably know it better as like the duck-billed dinosaur. Okay. But it has a giant frill, but more it's like a thin frill on top of its head, which we know is used like an instrument. It hooted, essentially.
Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, it has this giant frill coming right off its snout, built very much like a woodwind instrument. So I think it's awesome that it's a dinosaur that's got a musical instrument just attached right to its head.
Did he use that to lull other dinosaurs into a false sense of calm before being attacked, or like what was the benefit of that?
It's able to talk over long distances. So it's certainly a strong suggestion that it was dinosaurs were pack and herd animals. So they would need to communicate with other dinosaurs that way, other parasaurs, and probably used it to blow real loud to scare anything that was probably attacking it.
And if I'm picturing the one you're talking about correctly, it stands up on its hind legs and it has smaller arms, kind of like a T-Rex a little bit.
The arms were much larger than a T-Rex because it could actually go on all fours. Okay. It's debated which did more, but it clearly was at some point on 4 legs. Okay. So they were shorter, but it could hunker down a little bit. But when you
almost like
hoot hoot, it would do that.
Kind of like kangaroo-ish.
Sure. Yeah, close to that.
So like a kangaroo with a
kangaroo with a trumpet attached to its face.
Trumpet. I was thinking of an Australian. That Australian didgeridoo.
Oh, didgeridoo. Ooh, didgeridoo. Didgeridoo.
Didgeridones.
Nice. It is a didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
I know at the Field Museum they have they reconstructed its head in like plastic. You press down on this little thing, and it'll make the hooting sound that they approximate it would make. Nice. That was somewhat influential because it's really fun to press that button, make it go hoot hoot. But yeah, I think it's a solid dinosaur. Again, solid dinosaur profile. And I just think it's really cool that it's got a musical instrument just slapped right on its face. So number 2 is the Pachycephalosaurus.
What the hell? Go ahead, spell that for us, please.
Sure thing. Pachycephalosaurus.
Nice. I'm writing it down for our record so that we can look it up later.
Absolutely. So you'll probably recognize it. It is essentially the battering ram dinosaur. Kind of small. They're more about the size you would think that you've been led to believe a velociraptor is.
Like a cow.
Like a single cow. But they have right in the top of their head, right on the base, is like a dome-shaped structure with a bunch of spikes sticking out the side of it. Clearly from all the fossil records and just, looking at how it is structured, it was clearly the dinosaur that would just headbutt anything that got in its way. Like they did it regular. They probably acted the same way that rams do, where they just butt each other to prove how big and awesome they are. But yeah, even though they have the small spikes, I much appreciate that it is the dinosaur that is just I'm just going to beat you to death with my own head, which is punk and badass, and I love it.
See, now the Triceratops has the 3 horns. You would think that would be the one that was doing all the butting, but really those were more for show and trying to probably
that's being don't come near because although these spikes will probably get you, and if I have to use them, I will. Pachycephalosaurus. I mean, if you go to the museum that I work at, where the 3rd largest collections of dinosaur bones are, you will see that the spine of the Pachycephalosaurus goes straight up into the top of the head.
What?
It was built to ram right into you, the full force of its entire spine.
That's crazy. So where did it have small brain or a bisected brain or something?
It is a smaller brain on the way, at least the side of dinosaurs, but its skull was 10 inches thick, and for reference, a human skull is 6 to 7 millimeters thick.
No one wins in a headbutt.
He play there to cover his brain, and of course, we don't know too much about what was actually going on inside the skull.
Yeah, thought-wise.
But it was protected enough that they've seen enough damage on the fossil record that it's clearly these guys were beating the hell out of something with this skull.
They should name more football teams after dinosaurs.
They should.
Well, the
Pachycephalosauruses. Cool. Oh my God, it would be so many people who were not into sports would be buying jerseys.
Hell yeah!
We should just make dinosaur jerseys.
The helmets would be amazing. The jerseys, probably not so much.
Or try the cheerleaders trying to say all that stuff. Give me a P.
Pack 'em up, Pachycephalosaurus. Goes so long. You've run out of the energy by the time you get there.
Yeah, the game's over. It ended 15 minutes ago.
We can't even fit the name on the side of our bus.
Wow, you have 2 buses? It's you have a lot of team members. No, it's just for the name.
A lot of letters. So he's got one more. What's your number 1, John?
I do have one more. Here's my number 1. My number 1 is the Mesosaura. Very specific. The Mesosaura. It is not the Mesosaurus. It was specifically given a more female gendered name because it was first discovered surrounded by nests. And it was one of the first dinosaurs that we learned that basically, yeah, dinosaurs were nesting creatures. They're constantly thought of as horrible, dangerous monsters. This was one of the first ones that was like, you know what? They probably took care of their young. And they probably did it not just, they didn't just have their own nest, they were surrounded by it. This was like a whole area surrounded by nests. This was clearly like where they all came and hung out and raised families together. Wow. So it's a very influential dinosaur in that way.
It was the suburb.
The suburbs.
It is the suburb.
The soccer mom of the dinosaurs is your number one.
And what is more badass and dangerous than a soccer mom?
Oh, hey.
I've been the whole field.
Yeah.
It's one of the first dinosaurs to suggest that they were not just first monsters, that they were like nurturing creatures that had community. They herded. With the bonus trivia of the Mesosaur is at least the only one we can prove to be one of two dinosaurs to be in space.
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
NASA.
What?
NASA wanted to, for scientific purposes, bring one of these fossils up into space, and they picked the Mesosaur to have that honor of being the first dinosaur to go up into space and back down.
See, we weren't too far off with this Nazi base with dinosaurs on the dark side of the moon.
Oh, what happened to the fossils?
They basically remain fossils.
Oh, okay. They didn't reanimate?
They did not get irradiated by cosmic powers and then regrow into rock creatures.
Like 6 people listening to this just started writing a screenplay.
Jurassic World 4.
But yeah, so if you're not sold on the idea of it being a loving, nurturing, motherly dinosaur, know that it is a space dinosaur. And that's why it made my number one after learning that lovely fact.
Wow, that's an awesome pick.
Yeah, I dig it. I didn't think we were actually gonna learn about dinosaurs in space today, but
you done been schooled.
You brought us so much information that I just feel like an idiot in terms of knowing things about dinosaurs.
Well, that's why we can edit that part out.
John, thank you so much for joining us on the dinosaur episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to pass on my dinosaur knowledge to the people. To the people.
To the dozens of people listening to
John,
this.
would you mind doing a promo for us? Just give us a real quick thanks for listening to List, Rate, Rank.
Or make it fun.
Yeah, do a fun one.
Do a fun one. Just play around with it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to List, Rate, Rank with John Feightner. That's I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna make it mine.
Is there anything that you would like to plug or promote? You could take this time now to do so.
I will certainly plug and promote the Arcade Comedy Theater. They are a non-for-profit comedy theater in downtown Pittsburgh, doing all sorts of great comedy for you, but whether it be sketch, improvisation, or stand-up, everything in between, you can find down there at the Arcade. I'm there pretty damn regularly. I got monthly shows that, of course, have already been mentioned. So look those up and or look up any show. Any show is going to be great down there at the old Arcade Comedy Theater. And I also will plug museums. Go see them. They are filled with great information. They're not just something for kids. It's all sorts of cool stuff that you're going to find in there all the time.
And free fossils, right? You can just go and take fossils.
Oh, you just scoop your hand right into the big fossil tubs that they got sitting around. And you just take one home, you polish it.
Third largest collection of comedian bones in Pittsburgh.
Oh, we got it right in the basement of Arcade.
Where can people find you and follow you on Twitter and things?
Oh, they can find me on the Twitter at John Feightner. That's JohnFeightner.
You heard it here, folks. If you have a problem with John's list, you can tweet at him right now.
Bring it on.
Awesome. Well, John, again, thank you so much. It was great catching up. Thank you for teaching us all about dinosaurs today.
Thank you very much, John.
Thanks so much for having me. Good to see you guys.
Please rate and subscribe to List, Rate, Rank on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you download your podcasts. Follow at List, Rate, Rank on Twitter and Instagram, and like List, Rate, Rank on Facebook to join in on the fun. This has been List, Rate, Rank.
And many more.
List, rate, rank. Rate it, listed, rank it, listed, rate it.